Building has always been a problem for me. From day one, I felt that my ability to build, on Roblox especially, was horrible. And I'm not too sure why that was. I was good at building in games like Terraria and Minecraft when I used to play them. But on Roblox, that just hasn't been the case for me. 2 years ago, while I was still in college, I was tasked with making a small game for an assignment that I was required to hand in. Now, because I had scripting knowledge prior to the course, I was excited to get started immediately, but I had never really attempted to build before. So I gave it a shot. How hard could it be, right? Yeah. I don't even know what possessed me to create such a thing. At this time, my Discord server was up, and the community did not let this slide. I mean, just take a look. They absolutely ripped me up. They even made edits of the build. Like, come on. Anyways, I recently decided that it was time to upgrade my skills. And in this video, I'll explain how I went from this to this. I hope you enjoy. Lighting. Fundamentally, it is required to enhance the overall look of your build, and it assists in giving it life. You might not think that it's that important. After all, it's the actual assets that matter, right? Like the rocks, the grass, houses, chairs, etc. Well, yes, they matter. But that's not the only thing that brings life to a map. I came to this understanding quite early. The understanding that lighting plays an unbelievable role in map building. I mean, just take a look at this area that I'm in right now. It's a chamber somewhere in the first floor of layer 2 in a game called Deep Broken. But what I want to focus on is how inherently dark the chamber is, but also how expertly this azure light illuminates this chamber. And coupled with the rising blue particles, it's just beautiful. So you may be thinking, well, Nara, how do we get to this point exactly? And don't worry, I'll get to my understanding of it now. Interior, exterior, and natural lighting will help you see the full potential of your build. And as soon as I understood this, it was the first thing that I tried to grasp when improving my building skills. Let's take a look at this build here, for example. Normally, you wouldn't really notice the use of the many different tools that I've used here. You only really notice them when they are removed. Then only when they're added back in can you appreciate the changes that these tools have made on your map. So, what have we learned so far? Well, we now know that lighting plays a huge part in map design, and a few days into my development, I got the hang of it quite easily. Though that might be because I'm pretty good with working with colors, I think. But anyways, this was the easy part. Obviously, lighting alone isn't going to magically turn me into some sort of building genius. What more do I need to improve on? Working with terrain is dynamic, and I'll expand on what I mean by this. Depending on your goals, the difficulty of your project will scale, and even with that, there are levels to what you can do. Let me put this into perspective for you. This is the base that I used to create the Scholar's Respite, a soon-to-be location in my game, but I'll expand on that in a future video. What I want you to think about is how we're going to transform this empty baseplate into something more alive. Well, if we're going to follow the theme I had initially set for this area, we're going to need to add some grass. Okay. Stop. Just stop. That was easy. Too easy. I mean, of course it was. Anyone with a brain could do what I just did. I mean, I just placed down blocks and gave it a color. How can I make this more advanced? First of all, let's remove this grass. Don't get me wrong, I think this is fine. But this isn't the level that I want to keep myself at. I want to go higher. Well, this is what I meant earlier, that there were levels to terrain, depending on the difficulty of your project, of course. You could opt for a more simplistic design, a more intricate design, or even a realistic look if you so wish. We now know that lighting and terrain are vital aspects of building. Combining both can upgrade your map to a considerable point, if done with enough skill. But this can't be it. What else is there to understand? I'm no stranger to VFX. To those of you who've watched, or at least known about me, for some time now, you would know that I'm quite adept at VFX. Here are some examples of my previous works. This is the critical attack for the Genkata fighting style. This is the VFX for both variants of the critical attacks for the Winter's Redena. You might have noticed them throughout this video, or maybe you recognize them from my previous video, but that's not important right now. The point is, I already know how to do VFX. Applying them to a build though, that's something I haven't done yet. So let's get straight to it. My immediate thought after finishing the Scholar's Respite was to create something new to add some VFX to, but there were only a few details in the Respite that would benefit positively with VFX. This is the Tanzanite Canopy, another soon-to-be area in my game, but as of right now, it serves the purpose of being a visually appealing location, as opposed to it being optimized. Yeah, this needs some work. But let's understand something for a second. VFX isn't essential in builds. There are many cases where a build is amazing on its own, even without needing VFX, but the inclusion of it gives life to a build. Whether it be fog, mist, little glitter effects, whatever it may be. Detailed VFX in the smaller or larger scale opens up a whole new level of depth to your build. This is something I understood quite quickly. You don't need to flood your build with VFX just because you can. You need to do it in a way that complements the theme of your area. More often than not, it's the smaller, more detailed visual effects that have the most unique impact on your build. Embers, smoke, and wind are all great examples of this. None of which are in the Tanzanite Canopy, of course, but you get my point. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about modeling. I'm not the best at modeling, I understand that, but I also know that it's a hurdle that has to be crossed eventually. So how do I overcome this? Well, luckily for me, I have an amazing friend that's amazing at modeling. His name is Anzu, and he's also the one who modeled the Winter's Redena for my blueprints. So I had him teach me some things and techniques to at least save me some more time during modeling, seeing as I already knew the basics. I have this really bad habit of spending more time on something than I need to, and some of the things he put me onto helped me out a lot, so I'm thankful for that. Anyways, To improve from my mediocre state, I started replicating random objects that I'd found online. The kind of objects that you'd see in an antique shop, or house, or anything that would have just fit the theme for the Scholar's Respite. And the internet did not disappoint. Hundreds, thousands of things I could just put in this location, if only I had the ability to model them, of course. So I picked something at random. A grandfather clock. Okay, cool. And I got straight to modeling. And oh boy, was it time consuming. Having to relearn most of the things and techniques was difficult. And I started falling back into my old habits of comparing myself to other people. And trust me when I say this, that's the last thing you want to do. If you're aiming to improve, it will absolutely kill your drive. I will say that talking to people close to you can definitely make the process easier.
I'm not gay, but I'd be what?
Niggas, not once, not twice, he keep doing it.
Thinking back on it now, I don't know if I'd still be sane if I did all this solo without the people around me. Friends and a certain someone that works at Jersey Mike's, but that's besides the point. Eventually, I'd gotten to a point where I could start modeling independently. Without a guide, I could do it by myself now, and that got me excited. One by one, I crafted every piece of furniture, every little detail, every little Easter egg that brought this place to life with each edition. And finally, at the end of all of it, I felt fulfilled. Like, I really built this. With the small help of a friend, of course, but it's really done. All that time I spent planning and thinking about this in my head visually, it's created. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're still here, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe. Liking the video also helps. And if you have any opinions or questions, feel free to leave a comment. I read most of them, so chances are I'll read your comment too, and maybe even reply to it if it's needed. You can also join my Discord server if you'd like to talk to me more directly. It's always pinned in the description of all my videos. I know it took a while for me to upload another video, but I'm back now. I think. I hope. I think I'm back now. Anyways, I'll see you on my next video. Until then.
Yeah.